Hello people, welcome to another episode of the video series where we learn Kotlin with Codecademy's Learn Kotlin learning path. In the last episode, we went over the text variables and learned about how to use them. And now, in this episode, we're gonna learn about using number variables. Let's get started. In Kotlin, there are multiple number types. Long, int, short, and byte are some numbers without the decimals, like whole numbers. And there are double and float data types to hold floating point or decimal numbers, okay? So we have multiple data types because each data structure hold values in different ranges and has different sizes, and also whole numbers versus decimal numbers are stored in different data types. For example, if you see the long here, the minimum value and the maximum value is really big and really small numbers, whereas integer has comparatively less absolute value. And if you see the short here, it's also even shorter, and a byte only can store numbers less than 127 and greater than minus 128. So long variable is meant to store significantly large values, whereas byte variable cannot store a value larger than this much. Hence, their size and occupation in memory vary and different. So we mostly use integers from this list. Sometimes we need to use long, but short and byte are relatively used less commonly. And here, double and float is to store different decimal precision numbers, whereas double is more precise and float is less precise. So this is also, these data types are also common in Android development. Codecademy teaches double, but in Android world, float is also a very commonly used data type. So it's better to learn both of them. They're usually the same in terms of how to put them into arithmetic operations and such, but there are slight differences. One is their decimal precision. The second difference is their size they occupy in memory. And the third difference is how you denote them. A double value is just simply denoted by putting a decimal number like 6.0 or 35.68. But to define a float number, you need to append an f to the end of this decimal number. This f can be capital or small, doesn't matter, both works. When declaring a numerical variable in Kotlin, the compiler will determine, as I said, which of the above data types to assign. So if you just go ahead and write 64, for example, it'll automatically think that this is an integer, whereas if you go ahead and put 6.0, then it'll know that it's a double number. This is enough theory, I guess. Like don't go into details of this, like minimum values, maximum values for now. Just know that they have different capacities and they have different usage areas, and know that integer and double and float, these types are commonly used, and then maybe long are commonly used, but short and byte are not as commonly used as the others. So let's go ahead to the next section to learn more about arithmetic operations. So when you say numbers, like the first thing that comes into mind is mathematics or arithmetic operations. So in Kotlin, we have different arithmetic operators. We saw plus before, but in a different context. We saw plus to append strings to each other for doing string concatenation. But here, plus, if used with numbers, it means addition, which is super intuitive, I guess. If you know some elementary mathematics or high school mathematics, you'll know how this plus, minus, and others work. Maybe the modulus is different. Modulus is it's for dividing and giving the remainder. We'll see this in detail. But as you might see here in this list, plus is for addition, minus is for subtraction, asterisk is for multiplication. Do not put an X or do not put a dot, okay? It's always asterisk in Kotlin. And slash is for division. And the percentage symbol, percent symbol, is not for getting percentage, but for doing modulus operation. It says the above arithmetic operators aside from modulus should all be familiar. Modulus is a programming symbol that is used to calculate the division and return the remainder. For example, 7 mod 2 is 1 because when you divide 7 by 2, then the remainder will be 1. As another example is maybe like 13 mod 7, and 13 mod 7 will give you 6. Okay, so this is modulus. Within the println statement above, we built an arithmetic expression. An arithmetic expression here, like they highlighted this part. The expression word is important here. An arithmetic expression is the grouping of arithmetic operators and numeric values. Take a look at some of the ways in which we can set up and use arithmetic expressions throughout a Kotlin program. So let's say we have two numbers. They called it operand 1 and operand 2. This operand, operation, operand means this is an operation. These are the scientific names of numbers, okay? Just the terminology. Okay, and we can combine these operands with an operation, and then it calculates, Kotlin calculates this and prints 9.8, which is the sum of these two numbers. Or you can directly write numbers inside without mentioning any reference to any variable. You can just type 8 minus 4 and then it'll print 4 for you. And here take a close look here, because if you put double quotes here and here, then it's different, because then it'll make this expression not an arithmetic operation, not an arithmetic expression, but a string. So this, let me show you here, this is different than this, okay? This is a string, whereas this is an arithmetic expression, because when you enclose some letters and symbols with double quotes, then the Kotlin compiler thinks that this is a string, and when you print this, this will print as is. Okay, when we run this, you'll see 4 in the first line and 8 minus 4 in the next line. Just to try, I'm gonna run. This will fail, but no worries, we'll come to that later. So here, println 8 minus 4 printed 4, and println 8 minus 4 in double quotes printed 8 minus 4, because this is a text. Okay, this is a string. Cool. So also you can use string concatenation and concatenate a number with a string. Here, this string is concatenated by this expression, okay, minus 3, and then this will be concatenated into here in this string, but this is confusing if you ask me. A better way is to use a string template and using a pair of curly brackets and put the arithmetic expressions inside. So the product of 6 and 2 is $, a pair of curly brackets, and then you write the expression. Beforehand, if you want to print a variable's value, you can directly use that variable's name here inside a string just by appending it to a $sign. However, if you want to write a complex thing like an expression or a function call or something else, you will need to write a pair of curly brackets and then put your put your expression and other complex operation inside, so that Kotlin will understand which part should be evaluated as is and which part should be evaluated as an arithmetic expression. Cool. Enough talk. Let's solve these problems. In arithmetic KT, okay, we're gonna use our knowledge of arithmetic operations to calculate the total restaurant bill. Let's get started. Observe the variables containing the price of each ordered meal. Yeah, we have a Caesar salad, beef stroganoff, and a cheesecake. And now it asks me to calculate two more variables. One is total. Let me do that. While total equals, it says meal 1, meal 2, meal 3. It means like we need to combine all these three, okay, in an arithmetic expression so that we have the total value. And it also asks us to create or declare another variable called tip, and this will hold the value 0.15, which is the tip ratio. So, well, tip is 0.15. Okay? Now, let's run this and pass this first checkpoint. And in the second checkpoint, it says declare a final variable, which is called final amount, which will use to calculate the total amount, including the tip. Initialize final amount with the following arithmetic expression. Let me copy and paste it here. What it does is it multiplies total and tip and then adds the total inside. That means you're just like multiplying it with 1.15, or like adding the tip, the total tip, calculating with this formula. Cool. Let's run this, but before we need to use a println statement to output final amount. We can use println final amount to print this. Again, do not put strings here, because if you put string, the Kotlin compiler will think this is a string. If you put double quotes, it'll think that this is a string. And if you do not put double quotes, then it'll think this is a variable and finds this variable and prints out the containing number. Okay, now we passed the second one as well. Let's go to the next section. The next topic is order of operations. This is actually similar to what we have in mathematics. So we have an order of operations. For example, if you want to calculate this statement, compiler first does this, and then that, and then this, and then the whole expression altogether. So how does it work? It first does the expressions in parentheses, and then comes multiplication and division. Multiplication has no precedence over division. Actually, they both have the same, as far as I know, and modulus as well. So not sure, but I think these three should be the same precedence, and it follows from left to right when same level of precedence happens. Okay, so for example, here we have a multiplication and a division. So you need to first to do the one on the left hand side and then the one on the right hand side. The same applies for addition and subtraction. You need to first do addition then subtraction is a wrong strategy. You need to do the one on the left hand side first and then right hand side. Just to try, just to make sure, I will try something. I'm gonna cut this, okay, and I'm gonna print an expression. For example, println 10 minus 5 plus 5. Okay, sorry, 5. So if addition is done before subtraction, it needs to do this first, calculating into a total 10, and then do this 10 minus 10, and then it should find 0. But my assumption is addition and subtraction has the same level of precedence, so the compiler will follow from left to right. So it should first do this part, finding a 5, and then adding another 5 and finding 10. So if it finds 0, this order is correct. If it finds 10, then I'm right. So let's try. And it finds 10, as you see. So you can think that these three is on the same level of precedence. And these two, addition and subtraction, are on the same level of precedence. So addition has no greater precedence over subtraction, or multiplication has no precedence over division. So yeah, this is a bit like misleading if you'd ask me. So parentheses, yes, it comes first, and then these three comes, and then these two come. Okay, cool. There is a great visual here. So let's say we're calculating this. How should be the order of execution or order of operations? It should first start from here, right? Because plus is not higher level, on the higher level than these two. So these two has the same level of precedence. So we should start from doing this and calculating into an 8, and then we need to calculate 8 times 4, and then 3 plus 32. Cool. I don't know if it's clear, but this is really similar to what we have in mathematics. So most of you should be familiar with this order of execution. But if you're in doubt, you can just put parentheses. Okay, nobody will like complain, why did you put parentheses and such. For example, this parentheses will calculate it first. So you can do the same. If you're not sure, just put parentheses to the parts where you want to get calculated first. Cool. So it says in operations KT, we've set up multiple arithmetic operations that are missing arithmetic operators like here, here, and here. I need to find the correct arithmetic operator to put here and there to make these results. Like answer 1 should be 14, answer 2 should be 3, and answer 3 should be 11. So what can I do to make this a 14? So here, if I have a plus or a minus, then this will go like this from left to right, right? So it'll go like this. 7 minus 5 is 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. Now I have a 6 here, and then I have a 3, but 6 plus 3 and 6 minus 3 does not do 14. So what I need to do is do not assume that this is a minus or a plus, but it should be a higher level of precedence operator like a division or a multiplication, and then you can assume that this part will be done first. So if it's division, then there will come a decimal point thingy. They won't actually, because these are integer. But yeah, let's assume this. If this is multiplication, then this will be this will be 12, and then this part will be 2, so 2 plus 12 will make 14. So we found our first operator here. And the second one should be 3. So 9 plus 3 is already 6. And what you can do to get 3 out of a 6 and a 2, you do division, right? And lastly, the answer 3 should be 11. So this is already minus 3. And if you put a plus sign here, 14 plus minus 3 will be 11. I know, like the old days, like mathematics, elementary school, or high school, or college, I don't know. In my country, we do lots of maths. I don't know. Okay, so let's run this and see if we pass this first task. Yep. Go to the next topic. The name can be scary here, Augmented Assignment Operator, but believe me, it's not something you should be scared of. Why? Because the name is fancy, but it's nothing more than a shortcut, okay? We can have expressions like this: A equals A plus B, A equals A minus B, or times B. But maybe this can also confuse you. In my experience, whenever somebody learning programming for the first time sees this, they get confused. And the reason for that is they're thinking this as an not like an arithmetic operation and an assignment, but they think this as an equality claim, like we do in equations topic in mathematics. So it is not like that, okay? So this doesn't mean A is equal to A plus B. If it's so, you can calculate, okay, B is 0, then you can say that. But this is not that type of equality. This is not an equality at all. This is an assignment operator, okay? What is an assignment operator? It takes the right-hand side statement and puts it to the variable on the left-hand side. So that is it. We are not trying to solve a mathematical equality here, and computer cannot solve, Kotlin compiler cannot solve mathematical equalities defined like this, but it can calculate the right-hand side first, and then put the value it calculated to the one on the left-hand side, which is a variable. So what this does is it adds B to the A and gets the sum of these two, and then puts the sum into the variable A. Okay, cool. And this augmented assignment operators say, the topic says, this can be written in a shorter way, okay? This and that are actually the same. So instead of typing this, you can just type this. Okay, the same applies for minus, times, modulus, or division. When you want to increment or increase A, you can just use this syntax, and this will add B to A, changing the value in A, okay? Cool. So yeah, let's keep the short syntax in mind. Now we can refactor and optimize our previous program. The previous program is this. Current speed is 45. Current speed is current speed plus 10. This means add 10 to current speed, because this will be calculated as 55. And then Kotlin compiler will put this 55 into this current speed. Not the Kotlin compiler, but when you run this program, it'll put this current speed plus 10, which is 55, into current speed variable. Cool. And then when you print this, it'll print 55. The same here, but now you can write it shorter, just with using plus equals 10 it'll increment or increase this by 10, and then when you print it, you'll still see 55. Okay, keeping this in mind, let's go ahead and write some code. In NumberFacts KT, we've declared several variables and initialized them with numerical values. There are erroneous. Wow, how to pronounce this? Erroneous. That are wrong. Wrong is easy to pronounce for a non-native speaker. Erroneous. I'm gonna find this. I'm gonna make this. Okay, how can I? Yeah, define erroneous, and then okay, erroneous. I cannot hear it. I think because of the microphone. But yeah, let's go back. Use the following instructions to update each variable with its correct value using Kotlin's augmented assignment operators. Speed of light, add 282 and reassign the new value. Okay, write your code here. Let me write the code here. Speed of light plus equals 282. So this means this, okay? And perfect square multiplied by 2. Okay, perfect. Square asterisk equals 2. Divide by 3. Sheldon's favorite num. I think this is a reference to the show Big Bang Theory, Sheldon, but I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. And emergency, subtract 9. Okay, it after you subtract, it'll make it 911. Clever course curriculum developers of Codecademy. Emergency minus equals 9, and first counting num. Okay, first counting number modulo equals 5, which is 0. Cool, let's run this. Yeah, we passed. Let's go to the next one. Okay, an even more shorter way of adding 1 or subtracting 1 to and from a variable. What do I mean? So here we learned that this is shorter of a equals a plus 6. But we also have this, which is a shorter form of c plus equals 1, or c equals c plus 1. I don't know if it's a useful operator or not, but it's good for you to know this and what that means. So this increments c, or adds 1 to c, and this decrements d, or takes 1 from d. Okay, so this exercise is only for that. They say try to calculate this without printing the results, and then write a comment line and give us your estimation or calculation. So let's do, it's like a mathematic quiz, okay? A is 5. If you add 6, A will be 11. And then 11 times 9 will be 99. So B will be 99. And C will be 99 over 3, which is 99 over 3 is 33. Yeah, okay. 33 plus 32, come on, 33 plus 1 is 34. It's really hard to do is it in English. And 34 plus 8 is 42. And 42 divided by 4 and then given the remainder is 2. And 2 minus 1 is 1. Whew. Without pen and paper and in a foreign language, it's really hard to do that while recording yourself. So sorry for that, like excuse me for that. Okay, we passed it. Yeah, there is a warning, but yeah, we passed. D was 1. We estimated correctly. If you want to be sure, you can just print D here and you'll see 1. Take my word for it. Okay, I think this is the last section, last topic, last exercise before the review. So if you're tired, get up, do some breathing and such, and focus again. This is the last thing, okay? We have a math library because you cannot create complex programs or arithmetic operations just using plus, minus, subtraction, addition, multiplication, division, and modulus. So you may need more complex operations, like taking the power of a number, or finding the minimum of two numbers. Yeah, it is really hard to find a minimum. You need to call a function from mathematics library, or you may want to get a random generated number between 0 and 1, or you can round any number to above, to seal, or to the floor. These all and more can be found in the math library. Okay, so in this example, let's explore various other math functions in the code editor on the right. As you run the code and witness the output, write a description in command format below each function, describing what you think it does. Check your answers against the ones in the hint when you are ready. So a seal rounds down, okay? So this rounds decimal numbers to the ceiling, or two numbers down. And square root, SQRT, is short for square root. It'll find the square root of a number. This takes the absolute value of a number, and this come on, seal rounds decimal numbers up, not down, and floor rounds the number to the floor, or rounds the number down. Okay, ceiling is up, floor is down. Yeah, sorry. So let's run this. Yeah, if you seal 3.5, it'll go up and be 4.0. And square root of 25 is 5.0. Absolute value of minus 20 is 20. And floor of 6.9 is 6. Okay, it runs the number down to previous whole number. If you want to be specific, run the decimal number up to the next whole number. Cool. Let's try to see this hint here. Math seal accepts a double value and returns the smallest value that is greater than or equal to the given value. I think my description is more understandable, but yeah, this is more technical. Square root accepts a double value and returns its square root. Not surprising. Absolute value accepts an int value and returns the absolute value, and floor accepts a double value and returns. Math floor accepts a double value and returns the largest value that is less than or equal to it. Okay, let's go and read the review. Excellent work. Yay! The number superclass contains int, long, short, byte, float, and double data types. We also learned plus, minus, asterisk, slash, and percent tag, percent symbol to make the operations addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. Augmented assignment operators, this is a fancy way of saying a short form of reassigning values with arithmetic operations. And we also learned increment and decrement operators, which adds one or subtracts one. And the order of operations includes parentheses. It was the most precedent one. And multiplication, division, they come next. And modulus, multiplication, division, and modulus comes next, and addition and subtraction comes at last. Cool. And lastly, the math library is inherited from Java and contains various mathematical functions like absolute value, rounding numbers, ceiling, floor, random, lots of useful functions. If you want to use them, go ahead this library and use them. Cool. Feel free to utilize the empty review KT file and output terminal on the right to hone your understanding of numbers and practice writing Kotlin code. I'm gonna do that and utilize for shameless self-promotion. If you're having fun by watching these videos, and if you think that you're learning something, go ahead and find me on Twitter. Okay, it is twitter.com/SafaOrhan It's the account I tweet in English. There's also one which I tweet in Turkish. So if you speak Turkish, go ahead and follow that as well. But yeah, this one is my Twitter address, or you can go to YouTube link, which is also a service I do, /Safa, to find me on YouTube, okay? Because I cannot memorize my YouTube channel URL. It is really, really hard. It contains lots of random letters and numbers. So you can just find me here. And if you also want to get a YouTube link domain as cool as mine, you can go to get.youtube.link, okay? And get yourself a short YouTube address for $1. Cool. It was a pleasure. See you in the next episode. Ciao, ciao.